We are back in Northern Ireland to go racing once again at the Cookstown 100, which celebrates its 100th anniversary. So who to keep an eye on? Well, there's Adam McLean from Tobermoor, a double winner for the past 2 years for the McAdoo Kawasaki outfit. Michael Sweeney from Skerries, a former Irish champion, a previous winner here. He was involved in a big crash in 2021. Cork's Mike Brown won the Superbike race last year. He represents local team Burrows Engineering. Paul Jordan from Macrofelt, a Supersport podium finisher last September. And Guy Martin, one of the biggest names in the sport, now pretty much retired from top-level racing, but still has the hunger for winning when he rides his classic bike. Cookstown is Ireland's longest-running road race, and it has the shortest track. The Orritor circuit may be only 2.1 miles in length, but always produces super racing. It has a bit of everything: long straight, slow corners, twists and turns, bends, and a jump, before winding its way through the village to the checkered flag. Let's get on with the action, beginning with the open race. Great to see Adam McLean on the grid following his little spill in the Super Twin race. He's been checked over and has been declared fit to take part. Mike Brown then, with Michael Sweeney and Adam McLean on row 1, Thomas Maxwell, Paul Jordan and Richard Charlton on row 2, with Herbertson and Chalk on row 3. So it's the big one. The big bikes about to blast their way around the Orritor circuit. We're riding off from row 3 with Dominic Herbertson. Oh, I think that was Chalk that went through. But we're looking at Mike Brown, who leads. We're riding with Adam McLean. Sweeney, a long way around, but it's Mike Brown who gets through. Oh, Sweeney just tucks up inside. Oh, coming together, and riders down. Someone's gone down. I think it might be Brown. It is Mike Brown. Oh, my goodness. 2 riders have gone down. So McLean not involved. It did look as if it was Sweeney. And Mike Brown, Sweeney, and we can see from the replay here, we're looking from Herbertson. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, 2 bikes come together. It looks as if Brown perhaps just glided out to the right-hand side. This will be a better view this time. And they just come together. Oh my goodness me. So hopefully Mike Brown is okay. Oh, this is from his bike. The world just goes upside down. So the medics quickly to Mike Brown's aid. He's on his knees, he's looking good. So Mike Brown, unfortunately, has been taken to hospital. So we will have a full race restart again. There's a gap where Brown should have been. And Paul Jordan on row 2, of course, he's okay. So no Brown, no Jordan. But we do have a restart. Away we go. So Sweeney looks as if he's going to get to Gorton first, but McLean is having a big say. But it will be McLean slotting into second place by the looks of things. He's taking the long way around. Sweeney holds the line. Tom Maxwell in 3rd place on bike 5. But it's Sweeney who leads from Adam McLean in 2nd. Richard Charlton in 4th place on bike 42. Dominic Herbertson is who we're riding with on bike 11. Sweeney, McLean, Charlton, Herbertson looking to see if he can find a way past Charlton if he can. Certainly the machines have got the power. And with Superbike, you're really looking at the blast over the start-finish line for any overtaking manoeuvres. 54, Sam Johnson leading the 2nd wave. Herbertson refusing to let go of Richard Charlton. Herbertson still there in 5th place. He's got his teeth sunk right into the rear of Charlton. Sweeney threatening to pull away from McLean. McLean threatening to stay with him. But it is so tight and twisty. Through McAdoo, through Magny, through Craig Mount. Next wave through, and Sam Johnson has just gone straight on by the looks of things. He was heading this group, indeed he did. That gap is opening up slightly. It's extending between Sweeney and McLean. Well, the Superbikes are certainly spectacular over the jumps. A little bit of motocrossing, a little bit of airtime. Here's the other jump as well, always popular with the fans. Can Adam McLean do anything about the guy in front of him? So Sweeney coming to cross the line to chalk off another lap with the P1 next to his name. McLean still with P2 next to his name. 24, Graham Kennedy. Through and out of the crossroads. Tom Maxwell still holding a strong position. Davey Morgan on bike 71. He's now ahead of Darrell Tweed on 59. Oh, and again. Well, another mistake from Sam Johnson. Yep, you can shake your head. It's okay, really, to make a mistake once, but to do it twice, well. Meanwhile, Herbertson back in pursuit of Charlton again. Here they come. Richard Charlton on bike 42. This is the battle for fourth place. Through Craig Mount, down toward the Orritor crossroads. Meanwhile, Sweeney and McLean are already through. Charlton trying to stay with them, trying to keep them in sight. In fact, McLean trying to keep Sweeney in sight. Sweeney continues to open that gap at the front. Oh, I keep mentioning it, but it is so tight and twisty through here. The Kawasaki certainly sounding sweet. With Darrell Tweed just ahead of Dean Campbell, bike 78. Takes a glance around to see what's going on behind him. He sees three riders filling his visor. So Sweeney from McLean still. Sweeney just reeling off. The lap times just a little bit quicker than Adam McLean. Sweeney putting in the fastest so far, 124.2. And Adam McLean doing a 124.7. That's his fastest lap so far. And then, oh, that's Dean Campbell. So Dean Campbell, with some sort of issue, whether he can rejoin or not remains to be seen. We're back with the battle of the fourth place. Dominic Herbertson, can he gain up anything on the brakes or in towards Gordon? You can certainly gain ground on the brakes, but then because of that, sometimes you can lose exit speed out of the turn, but he keeps it going. He keeps his speed high. Certainly corner speed is vital. That's vital everywhere, but certainly, especially at Gordon. Oh, it's a bit too hot from Herbertson. You can just see there, again, going in quick. He had to slow. Lost that corner speed that I was talking about around McAdoo. And then he loses the exit speed as well, which gives Richard Charlton the advantage. Talking of advantages, What an advantage Michael Sweeney has over Adam McLean now. So Sweeney looks as if he will take another victory today. There's still some distance to go, of course, and as we've seen already, ooh, that was very nice from Tom Maxwell. But as we've seen already, especially here, it's not over until the checkered flag is waved.
Thomas Maxwell in third. Let's see how this one.
So he's still just outside his fastest lap time, Michael Sweeney. But he has a good advantage going into the last lap of this race. So you'd have to say Sweeney looks to have this one sewn up. Dominic Herbertson, it's his last chance. He's got less than 2 miles to do something about Richard Charlton, try and take 4th place from him. Thomas Maxwell looks to have a secure 3rd place. Herbertson does certainly look good at going into Gorton. Mackney for the last time for Michael Sweeney as race leader. What about Dominic Herbertson? Here's Thomas Maxwell, who's ridden a very lonely race really, Maxwell, but it'll be a satisfying one if he can take 3rd. There is no reason to suggest he won't. So Sweeney then is going to talk up another win at Cookstown. So over the line then, Michael Sweeney takes the victory. Sweeney wins, 2nd place goes to Adam McLean, and it should be 3rd place for Tom Maxwell. Here he comes, and that completes the podium. Oh, the battle for 4th, Herbertson is trying again, but it's going to be Charlton who takes it. Charlton does indeed take 4th, with Herbertson in 5th. Confirmation of the results, 6 laps the distance. Sweeney from McLean, from Maxwell, Charlton, Herbertson and Graham Kennedy rounding out the top 6.
I was delighted to get it. I just wanted to get to the front and see could I break away from Adam, and it worked. We come into a little bit of trouble in the last couple of laps. The clutch is actually going on the bike now, it's not pulling, so I'm in panic stages here now to try to get something in for the grand final. So
coming up next, it's the machinery of yesteryear with the Junior Classic. Welcome back to Cookstown in Northern Ireland. Next, it's the Junior Classic bikes.
The Thunder Road about to explode onto the Orritor circuit. Junior Classic A race, a mixture of 350s and 250s. Barry Davidson in pole position and looking for what would be his 21st victory around Cookstown. Only Ryan Farquhar has won more races around the Orritor circuit. And it would be win 93 for Barry Davidson if he can convert pole position into a race win. Great to see so many classic machines on such a big grid, on such a great course, in such beautiful conditions. So we're riding with Andy Hornby, alongside him John Lee Pemberton and Barry Davidson, of course, who starts in pole position. Nigel Moore on 14 on row 2. The way they go to cracking start from Barry Davidson. He's going to take the whole shot down into Gorton. John Lee Pemberton goes with him. Second wave gets away. 51, Andy Kildare. 55. But we're riding with Andy Hornby, who's been dropped back, who's behind Nigel Moore. So Nigel Moore up into 3rd place. And it is Jonathan Doran who leads the next wave of riders. Red fairing of Barry Davidson. Classic racing certainly is his forte. John Lee Pemberton still in 2nd position. Andy Hornby trying to find some way past Nigel Moore if he can. Nigel Moore's already still on the podium here at Cookstown today. So the classic sound of classic machinery, the sound of yesteryear, Of course, appropriate, this being the 100th anniversary of the Cookstown 100. Great conditions for a great meeting, a great way to celebrate its centenary. Andy Hornby closing in on Nigel Moore. John Lee Pemberton would like to be a bit closer to Barry Davidson than he is at the moment. He's still close enough. Andy Hornby could be the man to watch though. So across the line, Barry Davidson will have P1 next to his name. Then it's John Lee Pemberton in second place. Nigel Moore is in third, with Andy Hornby just tucked in behind. So, oh, in fact, Andy Hornby just pulls out, goes up the inside into Gordon, using his weight, braking late, and around he goes. There's a replay of that moment. Andy Hornby up the inside of Nigel Moore. Machine reliability has got to be factored in. Certainly when you consider the classic machines, however, they are beautifully maintained, beautifully looked after by the riders and their teams, their mechanics. Russell Robury in bike 17. So here they come. So Hornby trying to do to John Lee Pemberton what he did to Nigel Moore. Is he close enough going into Gordon? I don't think he is. So they start lap 4. He might gain some, I was going to say he might gain some ground. I think he may have done just slightly. They go into Gordon, he can get good speed out of the turn, but Lee Pemberton does as well. Here come the others. Russell Robury, Kelly Carruthers. Kel Carruthers racing at the Cookstown 100. Kelly, of course. Famous name, no relation. There's Hornby up the inside of McAdoo. Wow, what a move. Andy Hornby into second place. John Lee Pemberton back to third. But is that gap too big for Andy Hornby? He was in fourth, he's now into second. Is the gap to Barry Davidson too big for the race leader? They're certainly lapping around the same kind of time, but if Hornby's going to do anything about Barry Davidson, then he's got to start putting his lap times up and eating into him. And that is a big, big gap. Hornby's done a 146.5. So here comes Barry Davidson, past Braeside. So he's going to cross the line as Andy Hornby comes around in second place. Oh, fastest lap now goes to Barry Davidson, 146.4. So that's a 1/10 of a second faster than Andy Hornby, and Andy Hornby's not improved on that, so he's lost a bit of time. Lee Pemberton's still in the picture in third place. There is Nigel Moore back on fourth, just about in the picture as well. Here come the rest. So Robury ahead of Carruthers, with Kildare on bike 51. The sun glinting off the fairings. Perfect way to spend a sunny day here in Northern Ireland. Andy Hornby in second place. I think the only thing that can beat Barry Davidson now is reliability. He continues to lead this race. He's got traffic up ahead. So coming back, Mark Johnson, bike 46. These guys are battling for the top 6. Mick Brady, of course. Waddy Brown on bike 3. So here comes Barry Davidson to complete lap 5. Just goes past Kyle Parks. So then, it's tight between number 19 and 51. Nigel Moore still hanging on there in fourth place, of course, with Barry Davidson slightly slower on that lap than he was on lap 4. Here they come again, Kildare with Robury and Carruthers. sweet, sweet sound of that 350. It's coming up through the gears now. A handsome lead to have at this stage of the race. However, this is the time that the riders, of course, when they're leading, so they start hearing mystery noises as we watch Johnson and Brady battling it out back then. With a big advantage as they goes on to the last lap. But I think Barry Davidson is certainly experienced enough. He knows if something sounds wrong. Hornby and Lee Pemberton, though, this is still going on. John Lee Pemberton has closed that gap. Nigel Moore's there, so I fancy that Andy Hornby somewhere had an issue because he's lost a lot of ground, certainly to Barry Davidson, and he's dropped back to make second place something of a debate involving him and John Lee Pemberton and Nigel Moore. Barry Davidson with around 6-7 seconds advantage. Here's that battle involving Mark Johnson, Mick Brady and Watty Brown. That's the battle for 5th place. So Barry Davidson then, it will be his 93rd victory in the national road races here in Northern Ireland. That is some record, and his 21st. Only Ryan Farquhar has won more races around the Orritor circuit than Barry Davidson. And I'm assuming he is going to make it to the checkered flag. Here he goes, out of the final turn. The checkered flag is waiting. Even if it went pop now, he could roller coaster his way, or coast his way down, I should say, on a roller coaster circuit to the checkered flag, which indeed he takes the flag, and its second place goes to Andy Hornby, just ahead of John Lee Pemberton, and Nigel Moore in 4th place, just misses out on a podium spot. Here are those results, with Watty Brown just missing out on the top 6. Mick Brady, Mark Johnson, Nigel Moore, John Lee Pemberton, Andy Hornby, and a 21st win at Cookstown for Barry Davidson.
Coming up next, more classic bikes with the senior category. Hello again. From Cookstown in Northern Ireland, we're about to go racing with the senior classic machines.
Of course, it's not just the Guy Martin show. There are plenty of other riders to consider in this, but Guy Martin does indeed start in pole position for the Senior Classic. This really is going to be loud. This really is going to be good. We have a mixture of 500s, 750s, all sorts of machinery taking part in this Senior Classic race. And a good field as well, a good strong field. We should have some great racing. Away they go, cracking start for Guy Martin, and a cracking start too for Richard Ford. It looks like he's going to slot, in fact he's taken over the lead. Richard Ford leads from Guy Martin. Second wave gets away, that's 40, Barry Davidson of course, with number 17 alongside him, Russell Robery. But Guy Martin's gone back to 3rd, Andy Hornby. In fact, oh, it's tight, it's really, really tight between Hornby and Martin, but Hornby holds off Guy Martin. Guy Martin very much a tourist racer, a holiday racer nowadays. John Lee Pemberton in 5th position. But we're back with the man in 2nd place, Andy Hornby, looking at Guy Martin. Richard Ford continues to lead. In fact, these three just making a little breakaway group from the following riders as they go through Mackney. The bold rider who makes any kind of attempt at a pass through this section. Second wave comes into view. Barry Davidson on bike 40. Number 74, that's David Latravers. Oh, someone has gone straight on. In fact, they're on the pavement, thank goodness, and continuing, and it was Andy Hornby. And Guy Martin now leads from Richard Ford. So a mistake from Andy Hornby, but he's very, very fortunate indeed. He's still in 3rd place. So here we go. on board with Richard Ford, and that was the moment we just saw him going across the picture. And we can see from Andy Hornby's bag, looking back, so he's made the move. That's exactly what happened. Oh, that was close. That was super close. But Richard Ford again looking to make a move on Guy Martin if he can. Lots of blue smoke. Certainly coming out of Martin's machine. But he continues to lead. Andy Hornby goes up into second position. Richard Ford is back to third. 24, David Matravers being followed by number 17, Russell Robery. Martin certainly running very rich. Oh, now then, this is a sight we see very often with Barry Davison, but he is a retirement. That's unfortunate for Barry Davison. He's not going to add to, well, certainly not from the second wave of riders anyway. This is the moment when it went pop. He's done well. He's just coasted down, made his way back to the paddock. Well, Richard Ford just not able to stay with Guy Martin or Andy Hornby. Taking over 4,000 revs there. Oh, lots of blue smoke coming out of Guy Martin's machine. And it is game on between Martin and Hornby. Guy Martin's had some cracking battles at Cookstown before in the past. The likes of Michael Dunlop and Connor Cummins and Ryan Farquhar is 42. Andy Hornby goes through on Guy Martin. How much does Guy Martin want this back? Down into Gorton. And again, Andy Hornby makes it through. We can see him going past now. Guy Martin losing ground, lots of ground. Andy Hornby, who's put in the fastest lap, by the way, 1:38.6 on lap 3. Oh, now then, where's Guy Martin? There he is, there's Guy Martin coasting. Guy Martin is coasting. And he's going to pull in on the right-hand side into the paddock. Oh, what a shame, poor Guy Martin. Well, there was a lot of blue smoke coming out. I suspected it was running a little bit rich. I'm not sure obviously don't know the reason for why he's pulling in. Maybe it had something to do with that. So everyone shuffles up a position. Oh, Guy Martin is still going. He's carried on, but he's been passed by Richard Ford. So maybe whatever the issue was has cured itself, as it sometimes does. However, that's not been the case for Russell Robery. He is a retirement, falls up onto the pavement. Unless, of course, he spotted the ice cream van. It has been a hot day, but we've done well so far. He's only the second retirement in this race. And we are at the halfway point, past the halfway point. So there is Richard Ford. Where is Guy Martin? There he is in the back of the picture. So Richard Ford in second, Guy Martin is third. But Richard Ford a long way back, race leader Andy Hornby. So Ford in second place. Now then, there is Andy Hornby, our race leader. However, Richard Ford is still in second position, and it is game over for Guy Martin this time. Oh my goodness, what a shame for Guy Martin. Well, that's what I was expecting him to do previously, but whatever happened, he carried on. Now we're riding with Andy Kildare. I bet that was Dave Bruff that he's just gone past. So Richard Ford still in second place. However, still have a question mark over third now, and there was a little group of them. Well, certainly some contenders for third position. So Andy Hornby continues to lead from Richard Ford. And now then, Rough is being lapped again by Andy Hornby. And the only thing, again, that can beat Andy Hornby is reliability. Now here's the man in third place, John Lee Pemberton. So there's a question mark over fourth involving Andy Kildare and Mark Parrott and Anthony Ambler. So Andy Hornby with a cracking lead over Richard Ford as things stand. And here is that battle for fourth involving Kildare, Parrott, Brown and Ambler. Four-way fight. Trevor Stewart is going to be lapped again by Andy Hornby. Andy Hornby making his way safely through. And it is still Kildare. Oh, through goes Watty Brown. Watty Brown goes up a position. Goes through on Mark Parrott. So Andy Kildare still in fourth. However, fifth is now Brown. Parrott is sixth with Ambler in seventh. Oh, someone's gone through very, very quickly. So just around 2 miles, just under 2 miles for Andy Hornby to take the checkered flag. He makes his way past Phil Shaw, he laps him. Richard Ford in a very comfortable, as comfortable as you can be in a senior classic race, in second position. He now goes past Neil Lloyd. And that was Roger Chen, I think, as well, was it? And this battle still rages on. So this is the replay. Andy Kildare on bike 51. My goodness, what power he has. Great exit speed. So Andy Hornby on what should be his victory lap. It's been pretty perfect. He's had a good opening lap, Dice, with the likes of Richard Ford and Guy Martin. Ford has not been able to match this guy's pace. Guy Martin, of course, had his issues and failed to finish. So Andy Hornby, who also takes the fastest lap of the race, takes the checkered flag as well. So he'll take the overall win in the 1000cc class victory as well. It should be John Lee Pemberton who takes the 500s. Of course, they'll all be treating this as one big race. But certainly Andy Hornby has taken the overall honours. So in the thousands, it's Hornby from Richard Ford, and Andy Kildare is third with Phil Shaw fourth, Neil Lloyd and then Roger Chen. And for the Classic 500 class, it's a win for John Lee Pemberton. Mark Parrott is second, Anthony Ambler third, ahead of Watty Brown, Dave Matt-Travers and Sam Kincaid.
Stick around as next, it's the main race of the day at Cookstown. Welcome back to Northern Ireland. Guy Martin is a former winner here of the feature race, and it's time for the feature race, the Cookstown 100. The safety car is on the course. We're about to get into the action.
It's been a great day weather-wise. It's been an even better day racing-wise as well. We should have had Mike Brown, of course, in pole position, but after his crash earlier, there'll be a gap there. So you would imagine it's going to be between Sweeney and McLean again. Tom Maxwell will try to be involved. No Paul Jordan, of course. A few gaps on that grid. But we're about to go racing. Can Tom Maxwell exploit that big gap? And he's going for it. It's a cracking start. Not such a good one from Sweeney. That's who we're riding on board with. Richard Charlton on bike 42. Next wave gets away. But certainly, it wasn't a good start from Sweeney. Oh, McLean leads, and somehow Sweeney's regained that position. It looked like Maxwell could certainly have been threatening. He's back in third place. So Sweeney chasing Adam McLean. Well, having watched Sweeney go off into the distance somewhat in the earlier Superbike race, McLean knew he had to get in front of Sweeney this time, and that's exactly what he's done. So McLean from Sweeney, from Maxwell. Herbertson's in fourth place this time. And it is the perfect opening lap for Adam McLean, exactly what he had hoped for. So Chris Duncan on bike 119, being followed by Michael de Koopel. So McLean from Sweeney. It's going to be those two again. What has McLean learned from the earlier Superbike race between these two that he can use to his advantage this time around? Herbertson certainly doesn't want to be left behind. Richard Charlton in fifth place on bike 42. Herbertson trying to stay with Maxwell if he can on this occasion. McLean in a hurry, with Sweeney breathing down his neck. And that gap back to third place, which should be Tom Maxwell. Meanwhile, de Koopel just a little bit too wide to try and take the position from Chris Duncan. Now, where is Dom Herbertson? I think he might be. Is he in third or is he in fifth? Certainly Herbertson has disappeared there from Magny. So Sweeney still chasing McLean. Where is Dominic Herbertson? It is a big, big gap back to third place. It is Maxwell in third, so Herbertson has dropped back. Kennedy is into fourth place now. So something has happened off camera. Herbertson's still showing on the leaderboard though. With Graham Kennedy on bike 24. And here is the man again in third place, Tom Maxwell. Around Gordon, there is Charlton. And McLean, whatever didn't go for him in the earlier Superbike race is certainly going for him this time. There's a flag out there. Oh, and that's the reason why. A rider touring. Oh my goodness! Oh, it's a big one. It's a big smash for Adam McLean, straight into the air fence. So red flag immediately to Adam McLean. Another crash, of course, for him today. So the red flag is out. Oh my goodness me. The good news is Adam McLean is fine despite this latest crash. So we will have a restart. And incredibly, no Mike Brown, no Adam McLean. They'll start in the order that they finished. So it's a race to the checkered flag. You'd have to say Sweeney has to start as favourite. We're riding with Maxwell. He'll be hoping to get close. It's all getting a little bit tight. It's Sweeney from Maxwell, from Herbertson, Charlton. The 24, Graham Kennedy. A little wheelie from Dominic Herbertson as he squirts on the power. Well, Sweeney from Maxwell, from Herbertson. Charlton, Kennedy. Sam Johnson on bike 54. So Sweeney looking for a hat-trick of victories. Herbertson trying to stay again with Maxwell. If he can just hook up with him and maybe not lose him going off into the distance as we've seen before. 5 laps is the race distance for this restart. instead of using the waves, of course, as they did earlier, just bunched everyone back up, made a race of it. And I think all the riders prefer that as well. Certainly makes a great spectacle for the fans, seeing everyone dicing together. What we don't want to see is any more mishaps like we've seen happen to Adam McLean and Mike Brown. Herbertson is carrying a lot of speed. I thought so. Just looking back there, you're thinking, my goodness, Herbertson was certainly looking fast. Gets up, that's one way of doing it. So Dominic Herbertson, far too quick. Thankfully, there was a gap there for him to go into. Otherwise, we could have had another little mishap. We'll see that again. As we were looking, I was thinking, my goodness, Herbertson really is late on the brakes. I didn't expect him to be that late, though. I don't think he did either. But certainly saved it very, very well. Again, a little bit of air. A little bit of air there as well, certainly for the front wheel. They go over the jump next to the farm. But Sweeney, you have to say, although we've thought this before on a number of occasions today, that someone's got a race sewn up. But here he comes, Michael Sweeney. So, Thomas Maxwell looking good for a second place of this last lap. Richard Charlton third, Graham Kennedy fourth, but still that question mark, and here it is, that question mark, as Herbertson and Johnson side by side, and still Johnson holds him off. So Herbertson in sixth place, Johnson in fifth. Oh, and he's through, and that is how Dominic Herbertson, they hit the brakes going into Gorton. Or so to go for Michael Sweeney. It's been a good day for Michael Sweeney, and it's been a good one for Thomas Maxwell. He's had strong results in the past. He'll go well at Tandragee next week as well. But Herbertson should finish this one in fifth place now. Sam Johnson will have to settle for sixth. Further back we've got the likes of Anthony Redmond and Chris Duncan and Paul Cranston. So Sweeney roaring towards the checkered flag. It's out, it's waved, and it's accepted by Michael Sweeney. Another win at Cookstown. He's the man of the day. And a delighted Richard Charlton in third place. Maxwell in second. Michael Sweeney with the fastest lap, 1:25.1. That was on the penultimate lap of the race. This is how it finishes. Sweeney wins from Maxwell, Charlton, Kennedy, Herbertson, Johnson, with Redmond, Duncan and Cranston rounding out the finishes.
It's been a couple of wins I've been waiting on a long time, you know what I mean? It's just very hard to come by when you have the likes of the lads that were missing here today, Mike and Adam, and then obviously Big Shields and the boys aren't here, but look, at the win's a win, so I'm over the moon with that, delighted with it.
And what does it mean to you to do it in the centenary year of the Cookstown 100?
It's great because it's just massive. Everything is built up around the Cookstown for the last couple of weeks for the 100th year. So to get this here, it's a bit of a special moment as well. So I'm delighted with that.
That wraps up a magical day of racing in Northern Ireland. The season is truly underway. Next is the Tandragee 100, followed by the Northwest 200. But it's Michael Sweeney. The day belongs to him. He has the biggest smile. Who will be smiling at Tandragee?